Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 12th edition of the Do the Damn Dive podcast. We are missing Brooke and Zach. He's got some personal stuff, so he's going to bounce back probably in episode 13. We might go over some WWE stuff, but he was unavailable today. Wish Brooke and Zach well. And we are going to, this is an all elite edition of the Do the Damn Die podcast, because everything we're going to discuss AEW Dynamite, what happened after Dynamite this week. We're going to discuss some of all the backstage, Heat allegations. So I guess they're real. So the backstage in AEW seems to be on fire right now. We also got news on a potential new AEW TV show in October. And we're going to cap off with some AEW Fight Forever news. So hope you guys stay tuned for that. Let's just get started right now with the AEW Dynamite review. I am, of course, the Booker Man of Do the Damn Dive, Jutnick.
And I am the Bearded Spear, Kenny Arrow.
And let's just get right underway. AEW Dynamite review, August 24th, 2022. This week's Dynamite took place at the Wolstein, if I'm saying that right, Center in Cleveland, Ohio. Show opened with a face-to-face between Chris Jericho and Daniel Garcia. Last week, the relationship between Jericho and Garcia was tested when Jericho interrupted a moment of respect between Garcia and Danielson after their 2 out of 3 falls match. That was a great match. Go check it out if you haven't. Then Jericho started to beat up Danielson, and this led to Garcia pulling him off and leaving the ring. Jericho welcomed the crowd to Dynamite. He called for Garcia. His music hit. Garcia had a conflicted look on his face throughout this entire segment. He just looked like he wanted to be anywhere else but there. Before Garcia even spoke, the crowd chanted, "You're a wrestler," similar to last week. So he's I would say he's pretty damn over with the AEW audience to get chants like that.
Definitely.
But yeah, so Jericho shut it down. He basically shut the crowd up. In the nicest way possible, he said, but it's Jericho. Then he asked Garcia for an apology. Garcia was pissed that Jericho ruined the moment after hanging with his hero Danielson for 30 minutes last week. Jericho called Garcia the best technical sports entertainer today. Jericho wanted Garcia to say he's a sports entertainer. Before he said anything, Bryan Danielson's music hits. The American Dragon's out here. Danielson told Garcia that, like the fans, he agrees that Garcia is indeed a wrestler, not a sports entertainer. This led to Jericho yelling at Garcia to say he's a sports entertainer again. Garcia told Jericho to leave him alone. He walked off. Jericho pulled Garcia's arm back, but Garcia pushed him to the ground. That's got "You deserve it" chance. That was pretty funny. So the second time in a row, second time, at least on AEW television, Garcia has put his hands on Chris Jericho. Garcia, after this, leaves the ring. Danielson and Jericho are the only ones left. Danielson says, even though I'm not a fan of sports entertainment, that was pretty entertaining. And Jericho said, he grabs the mic, gets on his feet. He says it pisses him off that people refer to Danielson as the best in the world. Jericho called himself the greatest of all time, greatest wrestler of all time. But when regarding who is the best wrestler, he is the last survivor of Stu Hart's dungeon. Jericho called himself the Lionheart and that he will always know more about wrestling than Danielson. Danielson then begs the question, if they asked Stu Hart and Chris Jericho's hero Owen Hart who is the best wrestler today, who would they say? The Lionheart, Chris Jericho, or the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson? Danielson wanted to wrestle Chris right then and there in Cleveland. Jericho accepted the match, but he accepted it for All Out on September 4th, confirming Lionheart Chris Jericho will go one-on-one with Bryan Danielson for the pay-per-view. Jericho told Bryan to remember what he did to him last time they were in the ring. He put Bryan on the shelf for 2 months after Jericho told Bryan to watch his back. Jake Hager, of course, he is the henchman to Chris Jericho, attacks Bryan from behind. Next week on Dynamite, Danielson will take on Hager one-on-one. So obviously this was a segment to get Daniel Garcia over even more, and I think it's working so far. The crowd seems to like him. Kenny, what do you think of this whole opening segment here?
I'm loving the uncertainty that is being hung above Garcia's head. hope they don't blow it off quite yet. I want them to milk it maybe another week or two. Let him kind of build some momentum. Don't let that bubble pop yet. Let that bubble expand. But I'm loving where this is going involving him. I love where this is going towards All Out and a big match between two big names. Gives them both a reason to be there without a title, which they both don't need a title. I'm a fan of where AEW is going in this particular area.
Yeah, regarding, so I just had to ask the question. So, what do you think of Daniel Garcia? Because he's been on the mic more this year than he has. Actually, the last few months, he's been on the mic more than he ever has since his time in AEW. I think he's pretty good on the mic, honestly. I mean, obviously, he's not gonna be a Ricky Starks or nothing like that now, but I think he does have traits of charisma in there, and
he knows his role. He's a sharpshooter with his finisher, pretty much, and a sharpshooter with his words. His words are to the point. He don't dilly dally or try to make jokes. He don't that's not his character, and he knows that. He's a to the point pro wrestling assassin.
That's perfect. I couldn't have said any better myself. So regarding this match, which will probably have Garcia in the corner of Jericho, or he'll be in the neutral.
We'll just put it that way.
But so what I see coming out of this, I don't think Garcia is going to be turned in, and I think we maybe talked about this a little bit on episode 11 a few days ago. I don't think Garcia would be turning face. I think this is going to be all a ruse, and he's going to attack Danielson or somehow cost him in the match or after the match. So I don't know. I don't see Garcia in that babyface role right yet.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the heel Garcia because I can't really picture him as a face as of yet, honestly.
Yeah, and I know it's all about is he going to stay with the Jericho Appreciation Society or the Blackpool Combat Club? But I think if he joins the Blackpool Combat Club, I think he's actually hurting. That would hurt him in a way because Wheeler Yuta's the pure title. Those two obviously had a feud at ROH Death Before Dishonor. So I just what would you do with it? You obviously want him to chase after something.
Would you have to tag him with Wheeler?
That could potentially be something that they could do.
Tag him with his hero.
They could definitely go that kind of route.
Maybe that stable has a title. That would give if he joins, that would get everyone else stable title. Like Danielson's the only lone wolf in that environment.
Yeah, I guess he's I think there's more opportunities for him to go after something as a heel right now than a face, and with a Danielson Garcia tag team would be cool for a little bit, but with this, I mean, we already got sort of a makeshift tag team as champions right now, Swerve and Our Glory, and not that they're a hell of a tag team together. But, there's a lot of other teams there that are day one teams kind of thing. So I think we'll see Garcia kick Bryan Danielson in the groin at All Out. After this, well, here's our opening match. Dax Harwood of FTR took on Jay Lethal. This was just a great opening match here. A lot of stiff chops. These chops sounded, I don't know what kind of equipment they had to make this sound, or if they were just legitimately beating the piss out of each other like this. But if you watch this match back, hard chops, stiff shots, and we saw Dax do a rare dive near the end of the match. He hit a diving crossbody to Lethal from the middle turnbuckle. But we kind of know Jay. I mean, both these guys are fucking fantastic wrestlers, and yes, I first F-bomb of the day. But this was just like a classic old school stuff. This is the kind of stuff I like. Nothing too crazy, and we got that in the main event, just the craziness. I like both, but this, you can't beat this kind of stuff. So
would not.
Yeah, for sure. So near the end of the match, Sanjay Dutt came out, and Dax had Lethal locked in the sharpshooter. So Dutt got on the apron, he was yelling like a hyena, Lethal dodge Dax, which sent Dax straight into Sanjay, knocking Dutt on the floor. After a series of roll-ups, Lethal ekes out a win after the match. Dutt announced that he never specified who Lethal's teammates would be in the upcoming Trios match at All Out. Dutt then pointed at the Tron. The Motor City Machine Guns theme hits. We saw their Titantron as well. They were not at the show, but it is confirmed FTR and Wardlow are facing Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns at All Out, which is awesome. I did not expect that at all, so that was a surprise to me. What do you think about this, Kenny?
They saved their own asses with if they was putting an NBA player in his basketball, it would have really been a travesty. Honestly, I think that Satnam Singh's nowhere near ring ready. Man, he is like a piece of cardboard in that ring. And well, on that mic, I just think he's a piece of cardboard, like as far as playing. But
yeah.
The Motor City Machine Guns definitely need more eyes. They're lovely wrestlers, and their long friendship with Lethal makes sense. I just kind of wish that there was a little bit more of a build up to it instead of just, hey, machine guns.
Yeah, that's I agree with that. That's kind of the power for the course with AEW. They have these, big, like, holy shit, this guy's here, but like, why? Like, I know all these guys worked in TNA and probably Ring of Honor, I'm assuming, but yeah, like, I don't know what that friendship dynamic is like outside the ring, or because I don't think we've seen it on TV, and if we have, it probably hasn't been very much. But this is kind of just, yeah, hey, here's like a TNA team, like TNA alumni.
It's the best they got.
Yeah, well, I guess not alumni, because I think the Motor City Machine Guns are still in TNA, I'd assume. But what does this mean? So, I mean, I'm sure, because we all know AEW and Impact have a working relationship. So, I mean, I don't know if this is kind of just like a loner, or the Machine Guns are actually, they may be on their way.
I think a loner. I think their Impact blood is too deep there.
For sure. It's funny because I think, so I don't follow Impact as much. Like, some weeks I do, some weeks I don't, but I'm pretty sure that they're not currently the Impact Tag Team Champions, are they? Because I thought I saw somewhere they were going to have a match for the belts.
The Good Brothers, I believe, are the tag champs right now, and they're supposed to defend against Honor No More's Taven and Bennett.
Right. I think I remember that conversation we had on the last podcast. So yeah, I think we was pitching the Machine Guns versus Honor No More for the titles eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, hey, it's cool. I mean, I like the Motor City Machine Guns. Of that, I one of the matches I liked this year was Shelley versus Sabin. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty cool to see, and it'll be fun. I mean, trios matches in AEW, like, they know how to book them, and they're usually fun. Yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna get an overload of them on on this on AEW TV, but
it's gonna be one a week.
Yeah.
Well, there almost has to be if there's titles, and if there's not, then there's no sense to have them.
Yeah, it's just, I think, well, you know what, we'll talk about more of the trio stuff when we talk about the main event. But so after this, we are backstage with Tony Schiavone and Thunder Rosa. Rosa is crying. She made the unfortunate announcement that she is in fact injured right now and will not be able to defend the AEW Women's Championship at All Out against Toni Storm. She stated that an interim women's champ will be crowned at All Out. She said she hopes that Toni Storm wins and that she will be back better than ever. The match is now going to be a fatal four-way between Toni Storm, Hikaru Shida, Dr. Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter for the interim women's championship. So that sucks for Thunder Rosa, and we'll talk about kind of the backstage stuff going on between Rosa and Brit later. But what do you think about this, Kenny? This announcement?
The match is interest to it. I'm not a huge fan of the interim title thing. I think everybody either knows that or feels the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're trying to be different there, but sometimes being too different is just straight up weird. As far as outcome, I would like to see Tony Storm bring it home, honestly. How about you?
Same here.
I think that's where they should go, and I think that's where they will go. I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah. I think honestly, I thought Tony Storm was gonna say the Rosa and Storm match happened. I had a notion that Storm would probably win.
Mm-hmm.
So with this, what I don't understand, and the injury that supposedly that's happened. I think Rosa is hurt or something's going on with the disc in her back.
Oh, I've never
So
had an injury like that, so I imagine it hurts.
yeah, I don't know what if someone's listening in the comments kind of know more. I didn't read up, but there was just so much to read up on it. I didn't read up on the injury itself, but if someone can let us know in the comments if there's any kind of timeline for how much someone can be out with that, please let us know. And yeah, so with the interim thing, we can touch on that a little more. It's been done a lot nowadays, especially AEW has done it for how many? I think the TNT title.
An injury or an injury. Anytime a wrestler comes to him with any sort of injury, they go, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Like there's been 3 interim champions, I think, this year alone. So I mean,
it just takes championship reigns and waters them down to meaning nothing and not knowing who the bloody hell is the champion. Going back, like when I'm gonna look back in about 5 years, and I'm gonna say, "Oh, Roman Reigns is still WWE champion," but the AEW titles flip flopped about 8 million times. They're not gonna remember if it was Jon Moxley Punk era, or if it was the Hangman Adam Cole era, or if it was the MJF Wardlow era. It's gonna be a whole bunch of jello in my head.
yeah, I feel bad for maybe casual people watching because with all the different titles on and now the interim, I think AEW. I think it's safe to say that a lot of it probably is harder to follow for the casual fan. And sometimes I have trouble following it, and I would consider myself hardcore. I guess I guess that's what people refer to themselves as. I mean, we're doing a show on AEW and WWE and just other stuff, so I would lump us into the more hardcore scene.
Universe.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about this whole doing the interim thing, especially if Rosa was going to lose too. I mean, it's a ratings ploy, unification match, and that sounds good on paper, but I think you got to do that kind of stuff very sparingly.
On paper, now that you've watered it down to it's just it doesn't even sound good anymore. I don't even want to I just want to see title matches. I don't want to see interim in there.
Yeah,
that word bothers me and waters everything down.
I agree. Yeah, hopefully no one else gets hurt this year, and hopefully we can stop the interim stuff. I'm gonna have a bunch of interim championships on my GM.
Everyone's gonna be an interim.
I'm gonna have Bubba Ray Dudley as the interim.
I have followed Buzz, the 24/7 champ.
Interim 24/7 though.
Yeah, interim. Archie, he's holding up Archie.
We're gonna have 3 different titles on screen at once. You know what I hope to? Hey, you know what? We'll wait. We'll wait till we get to that point. We're close. But let's move on from the women's fiasco and to father versus son. Billy Gunn with the Acclaimed facing Colton Gunn with Austin Gunn in his corner. Does everyone love the Acclaimed, Kenny?
Oh man, if you can't get behind the Acclaimed rap to the ring, the Bowens energy, and Sesame Daddy ass, you can't love pro wrestling.
They're definitely
They're
one of
better
the
players
highlights.
than the Gun Club.
Oh my god! First of all, I don't get. This is kind of we're kind of just going off topic here in a way, but what's with that Colton Gunn Austin Gunn theme song there? Did you hear that?
Man, it blows.
It's like I feel like it's a crowd like I know they're heels and all that shit, but like even heels like you want to have songs for him that pump him up. Like Samoa Joe when he was a heel. Good God, listen to his theme. It was awesome. I don't know what it is. Like it's like some '80s techno stuff going on with the Gun Club. I don't know. I just thought that was just a weird little observation I made. But
Wrestling.
I mean, there wasn't much to this match, honestly, because most of it took place in the picture-in-picture break. So during that time, I kind of brush up on the notes and I don't really pay attention, but which I should. But it's I think the main point of the match was this moment. Stokely Hathaway was sitting in the crowd during the match. He was watching. Near the end, he jumped the barricade and hit Max Caster with the boombox from behind. Austin Gunn then sent Bowens into the steel steps. While the ref was distracted, Colton hit his father with a low blow and then hit the Colt 45. Nice looking move there to pick up the win. After the match, Hathaway gave Austin and Colton his business cards. The Ass Boys then beat up Billy and the Acclaimed, which led to the AEW Tag Team Champions Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee running out for the save. Segment ended with a stare down between Swerve and Our Glory and the Acclaimed. So later on in the show, we got to follow up to this segment here. The two teams were standing in the back with Tony Schiavone. Swerve and Our Glory want the Acclaimed in a match for the AEW World Tag Team titles at All Out. The Acclaim accept, and they call themselves the best AEW homegrown tag team, and that they earned their match. They didn't want this handed to them. They're here because they earned it. So that was the point of that. And so what do you think of that development?
That's definitely interesting. I like where both of these pairs that we're going to see at All Out are tremendously entertaining.
Should be a hell of a match for sure.
I want to see Keith Lee do the either like what's the corner to corner throw with Bowens and Bowens. I just like
oh my god,
it's already going to be good TV, and I haven't seen it.
Yeah, like when you think about it, it's just now. Was this thrown together? Absolutely. Did it make any sense at all? I mean, they're both face tag teams, I guess, but no, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Hey, I mean, but what else? There isn't really a tag team other than the Acclaim right now. I could see in that spot.
About the winning and losing and how it was supposed to matter.
Yeah, it's
we won't really advertise that anymore because in wrestling it can't. You sometimes you have to eat a loss. Sometimes you get to pick up the win. Just
yeah. Do you know if I don't know if you read up on the rankings? I don't. But is the Acclaim, are they the top one tag team right now in the division? Do they say that or?
Yeah, I'll get on top of that. I'll get that information.
Alrighty, well, we'll continue here, but yes, looking forward to that match, and the Acclaimed are awesome. Next up, Dr. Britt Baker. She was in a match with Kylan King. We've seen her on TV a little bit more. This was a very quick match. She defeated her with the lockjaw. And afterward, the big moment of after the match when she grabbed the mic and she said it's a sad situation for Thunder Rosa. She was throwing out some fake pity there, but then she put herself over by saying, well, when she was the champion, she never stopped defending her title when she was dealing with a broken frickin' wrist. Baker then called out Toni Storm. Storm came running down the ramp, then Jamie Hayter attacked her from behind. Hikaru Shida's music hit. She came running down with her kendo stick to even the odds, and we had a stare down to close out the segment. So yeah, I mean, nothing to this match. It's now with the story that got put in there. Anything with Baker and Rose on TV, it's it'll always kind of seem like shooting from the hip kind of thing, and I don't know. It's because Baker. So someone and I haven't seen, because I kind of stopped tuning into AEW for a little bit, but now we're doing the channel, I'm back into it, and there's some segments of Baker I like. There's others that are kind of missable, but I think Baker gets a lot of those backstage like quick snippet scenes, which do nothing for anybody. But I thought, but Baker is one hell of a heel. I think if
Yeah.
if Tony Storm wins at All Out and it leads to Storm and Baker, would you like that, or would you? I would actually. I'd rather like to see Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm. What do you think about that,
Yeah,
Kenny?
I would kind of kick it off with, if it was hypothetically Storm holding the title, I'd kick it off with a Hater feud and then lead to a Brit feud.
Yeah, I think that would be
Maybe
the.
by then Rosa's helped it, and then you do your thing. Bada bing, bada boom. You just run through the pile of that group and move on.
Except for Rebels, she don't need a match.
Yeah,
She can just
watch.
stay in there.
No director, you can just watch.
No, but yeah, the promo was fine. It's cool to see Sheeta back. She was a big player in the COVID era of AEW, but she's kind of fallen down the card.
I'm not overly familiar with her work, but I know that she can go in the ring 100%. And I do have those tag team rankings if you're willing to
Yes, sir. Shoot, brother.
need your ears. We have FTR as the number one contenders, which would be like gold on gold on gold. Number 2 is the Young Bucks, who didn't they just lose them? Question mark.
Yes, they did.
Number 3 is number 10 and Evil Uno of the Dark Order.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh
Number 4 is the Acclaim. Who?
my gosh, they're number 4.
Number 5 is Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta.
That's an interesting ranking. Yeah, you know what this is? I think the ranking things it can't work because
Story.
they count. Yeah, they count dark matches too, which you know.
Brian Nemeth getting the TNT title champ because he's eating it on dark.
Yeah, like if Brian Nemeth comes up with 50 wins on dark that nobody sees and is against like some, you know, aspiring wrestler, some like new indie talent, I mean, I don't think that should warrant a fucking, like you said, a TV title match.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I don't know. And there's a second F bomb. We'll have to do like an F bomb counter thing.
It's like the doodles.
I'm not in a bad mood, guys. It's just, you know, it's when illogical stuff happens, it just blows my mind. I gotta let it all out. But so that wasn't the most shocking thing. This Thunder Rosa announcement that we saw, was it, Kenny?
No, there's more shocking to be had.
Second hour started off with the drama. AEW World Title Unification match. CM Punk versus interim champ Jon Moxley. Not anymore. This surprisingly, so yeah, it was surprising that it started the second hour. We soon found out why, though. The crowd was mostly in favor of Moxley, but they were in Ohio. That's Moxley's like home state, so makes sense there.
Yeah, definitely. Why would they boo him away from him?
If we get some kind of interaction at All Out between Punk and Moxley, I'm wondering what the crowd would be like towards Moxley. Because they're gonna cheer Punk regardless if it happens, but you know, maybe I don't know. I don't know how many of them would cheer for Moxley.
I don't know. I feel like it would be a mixture of everything happening at once, like kind of like this, not quite the scene, but just we don't know what to do for you.
Yeah, it's a muddy walk because like, technically they're both faces for now. But anyways, let's get on to the match that shocked the world, in which this match alone probably made this edition of Dynamite the most divisive, you know, edition of Dynamite in company history. There's gonna be people that hated this show for this reason. So, match starts after a lockup. The two began slugging at each other. Mox went for a rolling punch, but Punk countered with a kick to the head. However, this would ultimately be Punk's downfall. Punk started selling the previously broken foot after the kick, and the ref went over to him. Mox grabbed Punk and started hitting Punk with the hammer and anvil elbows, and then attacked the bad foot. Moxley hit Punk with 2 Death Riders and pins him just like that to become the undisputed AEW World Champion. I did a little stopwatch for the match. I wanted to see my I don't know, maybe other people's timers got it different, but mine was yeah, mine was 3 minutes and 9 seconds. That was the
Same as my
length.
sex life. Actually, 3:10, 30.
Damn. So
Rob Van Dam.
so what was you doing during this match then?
I was making sweet love to a crispy donut that I had in my hand, probably.
But
yeah, it didn't take long to happen. And Mox, 2-belt Mox. How long will they walk around with 2 titles? As long as Sammy, or?
yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier. I'm like, I really hope this don't mean Mox is gonna walk around with 2 belts, because I didn't like that kind of shit, and I don't think you did either, right, Kenny?
No, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. You can't make me a fan. Take that thing out of wrestling. One champ.
That's right. 1 title, 1 belt. It's all we need. Put the other one up for sale, get some money from it, and move on.
Yeah, buy your thing and don't do your thing.
That's right. So, as the training staff were carrying Punk out of the ring after the match, Punk glanced back at the ring to look at Moxley. He was in the crowd, and Punk just had this dejected look on his face of shock. He was just, couldn't believe it. So, obviously everyone hated this, for the, right, reasonable, because it was only like 3 minutes, and Punk, if you're a Punk fan, you definitely hated this. But where do you see this going booking wise? Because obviously Punk wasn't ready to have this match. I don't think they'd do this if he was.
Yeah, I'm confused on why he performed and then he's going out again. Like, why would he's already an intern? Why wouldn't you wait until he's completely fully healthy, or just say he's not coming back for the foreseeable future? So we're just gonna call Moxley the complete champion again. Voila.
Yeah, I could see that point of view. Like, I was wondering that too. I think the main reason obviously was for ratings, because on paper, I mean, look at this: CM Punk versus Moxley for the undisputed title. This is like that was the biggest match in AEW history. Like, on paper, it didn't obviously turn out to be that way, but when you're advertising something like that, you're gonna run the risk when you don't deliver.
Just a friggin' blink and you miss it thing.
Yeah, I could probably see a lot of people, not wanting to watch Dynamite after that. Really though.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if the numbers plummet on their show, or if they're gonna maintain.
Yeah, I didn't see any kind of ratings for Dynamite. I would assume it must have gotten to 1 mil or very damn close.
Yeah, usually it's around the 900K range.
So I don't know how it did. I don't, in that respect, maybe it did do good, numbers for the show. But I mean, I don't know. Right now I don't know where this could go, because Punk, and it's good that they did it now and not at all out. I guess, with hindsight, because if Punk wasn't ready for All Out, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why, actually, now that you mentioned that, get Punk out of the way so that the real champ can defend the real title.
Yeah, I don't see any, unless this is just one big ass Vince Russo swerve and Punk can actually go at All Out, and then he's gonna come back. But I mean, what do you do then? You can't have Punk beat Moxley right away at All Out, and which this is just like completely. Oh, obviously Punk's hurt, so this won't happen. But
we're running ourselves in circles trying to figure out what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just very confusing times in AEW. But who do you see anybody stepping up to the plate that would make sense right now, or do you see this? Do you think Punk will come back at All Out?
Like, I don't know who you're gonna someone that can put up a good match at All Out, just a main kind of value person. But I want to see Adam Cole maybe show up at the end of it and put himself back in the title picture. He's locked up. Put him in a Moxley feud. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, Cole in the world. It's funny because you would think like, well, man, Cole's gonna get that mega push probably in AEW and get to the top. But right now, I cannot see Adam Cole in that spot yet, and I can't see him wrestling at all because I think he is still hurt for a little while.
He's still hurt. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
He's a guy I'd want to see rank up that card. When I see him walk in those doors, I was hoping big things, but maybe he should have just waited it out until HHH got in there.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he was probably. I mean, if he has a deal, which was reported by Tony Khan, to 2027, he's probably got a very lucrative contract.
Oh yeah, he's probably not crying about the money, but he's probably wishing creatively that he was with Triple H, was making him probably the biggest deal of his career.
Yeah, I think what could help Cole, like Cole would probably. I feel like Cole's probably having a pretty good time in AEW just because all his friends are there, right? And he's not necessarily in a bad spot right now. And I think as soon as he comes back, then we'll get the long awaited Omega Adam Cole feud.
Oh, the blow off to that, it's gonna be huge. I hope.
Which is yes. I'm looking forward to that a lot. That could be a world title match, but I think like even without a title, it just works because everyone that watches AEW for the most part just knows the history of everything that happened there. So
definitely,
very much looking forward to that when that does take place, which it will because the Elite was Adam Cole and Red Dragon turned on the Bucks. So now that Omega's back, they got some backup. But yeah, I don't see any. We can talk about MJF and all that, but I cannot see Punk not being on the show in some way for All Out. That is.
Yeah, he's gonna voice his voice like he always does.
Yeah, I don't know what they could.
He'll have something to say. They'll give him a stick and he'll say something.
Oh yeah, I mean, he is a great talker. Like he can sell it. He probably doesn't like. It sucks that if he can't wrestle on the show, which it doesn't look likely if he, But I think we could talk about this for probably the next 2 hours, trying to decide like what the whole angle of this, like where this angle could go. But for now, there is no match announced, no world title match that is for All Out. So we will have to stay tuned for next week's Dynamite. But no, very shocking stuff. So now we're in the tail end of the show here. Christian Cage in the back with Tony Schiavone. All Cage wanted was for Jungle Boy to apologize for what he said to him. Cage said that he was just trying to show Jungle Boy tough love after everything. We all know what Christian Cage said for the past few weeks on Dynamite. Cage states that Jungle Boy will never outsmart him. He called him Jack, then proclaims he is an anomaly, he is special, and that at All Out, Jungle Boy will find out he will never be in Christian Cage's league. He accepted Jungle Boy's challenge, so the match is official for All Out, which I am very much looking forward to this. Grudge match between Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this whole feud. This has been one of my highlights for Dynamite watching it because it's been the most consistent, I think.
Christian Cage just made this amazing on the mic. I don't think he should get the win in the ring, but he should get the win for making this feud matter.
At some point, yes, for sure, definitely. Some kind of.
He's gonna get either backstage credit or the credit somewhere. He's gonna get the pat on the back or the good guy gold medal for putting Jungle Boy over, which I think he should. If he does, then I think it's all gonna be sunshine and roses. If Christian Cage ends up being the winner of this match, I'll be hella surprised.
Yeah.
But I'll also kind of in a way be happy.
Yeah.
Cage, and he's not won enough on the big stage, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I actually, and we can, we'll probably do a all-out predictions video once the whole card is mapped out. We're going to go over some of the card, but we'll do our actual official predictions video at a later date. But, I really do see Luchasaurus. I think that's where the big turn will happen. They would have probably done the big turn sooner had Jungle Boy not been hurt. But I think this whole Luchasaurus thing is, it's going to be another swerve, and he's going to choke slam Jungle Boy or cost him the match in some way. So I think Cage will get the first win. Whether they're gonna extend this feud to Full Gear, I think Full Gear's in November, right? Early November.
Yeah, I think so. Around Christmas time, we're getting close.
So it's not impossible for them to, milk it to that. That's still a long time away after All Out, but or a decent bit for, But yeah, I could see this being more of a series than just a one match then and there because I think these two just work wonderful off each other. So I'd like to, see this continue.
Well, they already
Speaking
talked
of,
for months, and it's only been and they haven't even touched each other in a match, like an official match.
yeah, speaking of grudge matches, let's get let's talk about one of our favorites, Ricky Starks. He cut a promo after this. Starks, this was great by the way, but he's just so fluent and he's quick on the mic, quick as a cat, as they say. He can just talk around you all day. But this promo was basically going over his experience and his journey with Powerhouse Hobbs, his former friend. Starks said Hobbs would call him every single week after Starks got a broken neck last year. Starks brought up the time that Hobbs was standing around in a bedazzled t-shirt as Britt Baker's security guard. That would have been the early days of AEW. Saying that he was playing a background player then as he was when he was with Starks. Starks said he always made sure the two of them could share the spotlight. He always had food on the table for them to eat. He started getting very animated here with there was tears forming in his eyes. He was because just after he mentioned that Hobbs attacked the damaged neck of Starks. Starks said it could have ended his career short, and that's when he started getting choked up. Starks said he calls Hobbs a snake rather than a friend now, and he demands Hobbs brings his $5 ass, end quote, to Chicago to fight him at All Out. So it's also confirmed Ricky Starks will take on Powerhouse Hobbs. This is another grudge match. No kind of weapons involved for either of the grudge matches here. There's just going to be a singles match, but the two matches are going to be great, I think, and. Starks, he just make it work. Really, what do you think of this, Kenny?
I'm a huge fan of both participants. I see huge futures in both. I wouldn't be surprised to see Powerhouse even elevated as far as the world title scene. I think they're that big on him, and I think everyone else should be. I think he's there. And he means it. Like this is for real. Ricky Starks, he makes the mic work. Obviously, works his ring work. I mean, there's a little bit to be desired, but not much. Like he's still good there.
For sure. Regarding, yeah, this is gonna be, it's gonna be an interesting match because we know like Ricky's he's smaller compared to when you get an image of a heavyweight champ in your head, you're gonna think of Hobbs first rather than Starks. Just if you're looking at size, but I think how this match is gonna work, I think Starks is gonna take a hell of a beating, but he might be able to fight and claw his way back. So that's the storytelling I like in matches. So I'm looking forward to that if they play it up to that.
The underdog comeback story.
I don't think we'll see too many rest holds in this match. Is all I'm saying. But no, this is great stuff. Looking forward to this, and we'll kind of elaborate on who we think is gonna win more in our All Out predictions video. Gonna plug that again. Stay tuned for that. Moxley speaks backstage. Moxley is heated. He says, "Best in the world, my ass." Moxley said people that want to write him off once Punk came back don't matter because he proved that he is the answer to every problem in professional wrestling, and he is professional wrestling. He called himself the guy, says his time is now, homage to Cena and Roman Reigns, I guess, and walks off. So the intensity in Moxley, I think he's one of those other just great promos. Some promos he can be a little, sedated and mellowy, but like for the most part, when he wants to turn it up to 11, he can. But yeah. So do you support the decision? Do you think Moxley is the better suited champion than CM Punk?
Not knowing the health, not at the moment, but I can see why you want to give him a second run. He probably was their best profiting champion so far, maybe. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like it's not a stretch to think that. And I
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think what his feuds were in like when he was because he was. I think he was the champion during the COVID era.
but he
So
kept him afloat.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Starting to sort of sink a little bit now, where
yeah.
no COVID excuses. So
Yeah, really though. But no, I think it's a great, reward for Moxley. He's been putting in the work, especially after, his personal demons got a hold of him for a little bit. He came back looking better than ever, I might add, and I think he deserves, another run, and whether someone else like MJF is gonna put a halt to that, I don't know. I would it sucks because I would really like if no one was hurt and it could have all just worked out. I would have loved to see MJF come back after the match at All Out, and then MJF he can beat Punk for the title, which should have been the whole mapped out direction for this, in my opinion. But it's kind of gotten a little muddied now.
yeah, definitely cloudy.
But no, it is what it is. Well, and Tony Khan, I feel like he's given this the most attention, with booking wise. So he's gonna hopefully he can get out of this little corner he's in now, and eyes are gonna be peeled to the screen when things advance. Let's talk about the main event, quarterfinal match in the AEW World Trios Championship Tournament. Will Ospreay and Aussie Open, Carl Fletcher and Mark Davis versus the Death Triangle, Pac, Penta El Zero Miedo, and Rey Fenix. Don Callis joined the commentary team for this match. So this is the kind of match that is like a reviewer's nightmare, because just trying to write down just everything that is cohesive, it's just awful because it's just so balls to the walls, right?
Everybody everywhere.
Yeah, it's just bodies everywhere flying. So I'm just gonna talk about my favorite moments of the match. Maybe Kenny can add on something what he liked. So some of my favorite moments was Ospreay hitting Pac and Penta with this insane looking dive. I think it has a name, I forgot, but he got so much height from the top rope and landed on them onto the floor. It was just a thing of beauty. Phoenix, yeah, Phoenix. Hit Ospreay with a top row hurricanrana, but Ospreay lands on his feet. We seen him do that spot with guys like Ricochet back in like 2015, 16. So, I mean, anytime he does that, it gets a nice pop from the crowd. Here was my personal, favorite move of the match. Pac hit this, Pac, he hit this beautiful looking avalanche brainbuster from the top rope. That probably looked the most devastating out of everything, really.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a brainbuster. Those look nasty.
For sure. We also saw, this was one of those indie-rific spots, I call it. Well, this whole match was indie-rific, but, so, I think it was a stare down between the Lucha Brothers and Aussie Open. So, Pac and Will come from behind of the opposite team and give them both a double Poison Rana. So yeah. With those kind of spots, you got to kind of turn your brain off, because I can't say I'm a fan of those double Hurricane Rana spots that we see a lot in tag matches, but it looks cool.
I understand why they're doing it. I just
But so here's getting near the end of the match here. Pac hit Ospreay and Fletcher with a diving moonsault from the top of the ring post, and I was kind of, on the edge of my seat, because I'm like, if this goes bad, which, a lot of AEW main events can, this could end up pretty bad for Pac, but he's a pro. He hit the move wonderfully. He notices a guy in the front row with a box on his head, which he presumes is Kip Sabian. So the story behind this, if you fellas don't really follow because Pac right now, he is the AEW All Atlantic champion, which is kind of like a traveling title. He's defended it in like UK promotions, like independent promotions like Rev Pro, and probably, I don't know if he's been to Japan, but he's been around the UK independent scene, and Kip has been following him around, and this airs on the episodes of Dark on the YouTube channel. So that's been the storyline going into this. He takes the box off the guy's head, and it's just a decoy. We saw it. We saw that on Raw too with Dexter Lumis. It's just some random guy who looked like he got beaten up. He had like a black eye, and he ran off. From behind, Super Bad Kit Sabian attacked Pac and hit Pac with a suplex with some help from the barricade. And yeah, the ref didn't see any of this.
The refs are blind in AEW, man. Holy fuck.
It's really, yeah, it's pushing it, yeah.
I brought attention to it. I shouldn't have.
It's no, it's just.
Okay.
I don't know, man. What do you like? I know a lot of AEW, it can get very spot fast, and WWE can do it too. I mean, a lot of when NXT was black and gold, we saw a lot of false finishes and just kicking out of like 3 different finishers and stuff. I don't know, man. Like this, like the trios match. I know, I get that it's not everybody's thing, and
It's different.
yeah, it's different, and I like it personally. Like I know a lot of shit is just but these are the type of matches that you just gotta try to turn your brain off and just kind of just enjoy it, not think of the logic behind shit that's happening. But when you get spots like this where guys who are legal in the match are getting beat up, on the outside, obviously a tat, that should be a DQ, but the refs are, it makes the refs look weak, and it's just, it's too much to suspend that disbelief if doing stuff like that. But I don't know. That was the one kind of moment I didn't. It was just dumb. Wasn't necessary. I didn't think. Yeah, but anyways, Penta was kicked off the apron by Fletcher. Aussie Open propped up Ray Phoenix. Then Ospreay hit the Oz Cutter for the win. They advance to the semifinals of the tournament where they will face Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. So all in all, this was well, actually, this wasn't the end of the show. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Omega and the Bucks came out to confront him. Omega was all taped up, that Kinesium tape that we saw Cesaro wear for a long time. Well, now Claudio. So Claudio Castanoli, we'll talk about him a little bit. Ospreay and Aussie Open, they want the fight right then and there, but Omega, he started charging to the ring. The invisible hand, Don Callis, he ran over and held him back as the show closed. So, yeah, I mean, I thought, what did you think, all in all, this edition of Dynamite? It was hit and miss?
Yeah, it definitely had moments where I was like, hold up, I need to catch up for a second. Because, like, this is amazing. Like, why am I not as excited about AEW as I should be? And then I see the other half of the show, and then I realize why I'm not excited.
Yeah, it was. We got some good build to All Out, but I think what really brought things down was just a lot of filler stuff. With the matches like with Britt Baker and Kyle and King, and what was the other match there? Oh yeah, the father and son thing. See, I already forgot it. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty shit.
Yeah, nah. I mean, it led to stuff, but all in all, I wouldn't say. Besides the main event, I'd say you could probably skip out on most of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty skippable show. If you can catch up with the main points, which you can usually do if you have Snapchat, you can see the stories. If you have it,
or via YouTube or something.
YouTube, but you can find us on YouTube. Hopefully, you found us on YouTube by now.
Hopefully.
But yeah, it's just a big wide world out there.
Yeah, I still enjoyed a lot of things though. Not to say it was all bad show. The Ricky Stark stuff. I thought the opening match was great. But yeah, like I said, the main event. So there was a few things. If you wanted to check it out, I would recommend this show just because of just what happened with the world title style. But you got to see it to believe it, kind of thing.
What leading to is intriguing, but what it was sometimes was good.
Yeah. So I didn't watch Rampage,
I caught the bits and the pieces.
but I think it was, I think it was a rather skippable show like it usually is. But they had, what were the matches? I believe it was Dark
Claudio,
Order.
Dustin was the main.
Right. So from what I saw, or the match card, if we can just go over the results. I think it was Dark Order, and the third man that was mysterious. It ended up being 10, so it was Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and 10 defeating the House of Black with some help from Miro and Sting, I believe,
Yeah, Miro got his head kicked in for his doings, and,
for his troubles.
and Darby ran and made the save for that.
Yeah, it sucks that House of Black lost, especially to the Dark Order.
I know the Dark Order are getting momentum out of nowhere, and like it's just not a faction I'm not behind at all. Right, like after the Brody Lee, after they kind of went on their Brody Lee Memorial Tour, I feel like ever since that they've just been trying to claw on to, hey, remember we used to know Brody Lee, and then now you got to make your own shtick. You got to move forward. There's got to be some depth to you other than one thing.
I think I would say the main problem with the Dark Order is, I mean, they all come off as, goofs. And they did, it was always goofy. Even when Brody Lee was, leading them, it was always, But I don't know. I don't see the longevity in the Dark Order. I like their stuff on BTE. It's funny on YouTube, but I don't want to see them defeat the likes of the House of Black, just because.
Serious winning. Brody King just had a world title opportunity.
Yeah.
Jesus, it's been so long. I should know that. Malachi has been kicking faces in from Cody to Arn Anderson to Mr. Sting and
yeah, Mr. Sting. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want to be cynical and say like I'm not happy for the Dark Order, because it is cool that they finally got a win on television that means something. And I think where the story ultimately is going is probably Hangman joining up with probably Silver and Reynolds to take on the Bucks and the Elite in the finals. That's probably where they're going with this.
Okay, is there a Freebird rule kind of thing on the trios joining?
Well, I think what happened, or what's gonna happen, is, if I can just fantasy book a little bit, I could probably see 10 getting knocked out by the House of Black as like revenge, or someone from the Dark Order getting hurt or attacked in some way where Hangman has no choice but to step in. And probably a lot of people like myself thought that Hangman was going to be the one that was going to be that third mysterious guy on the Rampage match last night, but ended up not being the case.
Yeah, I was really confused on why you'd make a huge deal out of something.
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool if they go that route, which they probably will. I mean, Hangman's not gonna wrestle. It's not like he's gonna be off the card for All Out. Like, they're gonna keep him on there. So
he was just a world champion. He can't go all the way to the bottom.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, regardless, Omega and the Bucks are gonna probably win the trios titles. So
yeah.
I mean, but it's a cool little wink and a nod to the great feud that Hangman and Omega had last year. So, I'm for it. It's cool. Elite. I still like the Elite, so I don't think it's overbearing on television or anything.
No, it's not. It's not overly. It's not as bad as some things.
As some things, but yeah, I think what else happened was Ruby Soho and Ortiz.
Yeah, Ortiz
took on
Time Mello.
Yeah, Ty Mello. She's no longer Conti.
What was the deal with that? No one sent me the email with that one.
None of the dirt sheets, man.
Anthony on Raw. I'm like, what the?
Now, so basically, I think her her previous marriage, the guy was named I forget his first name, something Conti. So she had his name or whatever. But now that the divorce is all settled away, she's going by her real last name, I believe, Mello. Her middle name or something, maybe.
That's freaky. You'd maybe like do.
Sammy Guevara.
Yeah, why not? Aren't they married?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably just more or less a thing of just individuality kind of thing. You know,
Yeah, I want to own that name.
it'd be like if Naomi was like called Naomi Uso or something like.
Yeah, Naomi the Uso.
But no, yeah. So I don't know who won that match. Did you see the result of that?
Guevara and Dolly.
Okay.
It's for the AAA mixed tag titles, apparently.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that was also defended against Dante Martin and Sky Blue a few weeks back, I think.
Yes. Yep. That would be correct.
So yeah, I mean, I see. I don't know because the pieces are there remaining from the Eddie Kingston Sammy Guevara feud. But we'll get on to what's going on with that. So yeah, it's just a very weird situation right now. But so the main event of Rampage was obviously Dustin Rhodes versus Claudio Castanoli for the ROH World Title. I heard it was a great match, so I'm gonna go definitely check it out. But
Calling out some Hurricane Ranas. He was doing some stuff with the help of Claudio.
Canadian Destroyers.
Some other people.
Yes. I mean, it's just Dustin Rhodes is the way he can move is insane to me.
It's that DDP yoga.
Yeah, he probably does do DDP yoga.
I gotta get some of that. I gotta get a DVD.
Yes, DDP yoga. We'll support the DDP. No, I don't think he likes it being called DDP yoga though. I think he likes DDPY.
Well, he don't get to choose how I say things. Take that, DDP, if you're listening. You don't get to choose how this man talks. If you're somewhere.
The Kenny Arrow man, the bearded sparrow shooting.
Kenny's cooking, baby.
He's cooking. That'll be a segment. Anyway, so after I think it was after Rampage, we heard from Moxley, and this was not aired or anything like that. This was just kind of like a thank you to the fans and all that. So he basically this, and if you want to find the video of Moxley's promo, it's on Wrestle Clips on YouTube. So he was basically just saying AEW has the best fans in the world. He's had the most fun in his career wrestling for that crowd. He shoots on Raw and SmackDown saying, "Tell your friends if they're and I quote, you tell your friends if they're watching at that Monday night, Friday night bullshit, you can tell them, dude, you got to check out Wednesday nights, man. Wednesday nights are where it's at." End quote. And he praised Dustin Rhodes and William Regal, as well as his other BCC stablemates. When he got to Claudio, he took a shot at Vince McMahon, kind of indirectly here. He said, so Vince, obviously, if you guys haven't seen the first, because what was it? Was it always the Broken Skull sessions, or what was his first?
The whole podcast. It was.
Was it just the Stone Cold podcast?
Yeah, before it was because the Skull sessions was just on the network.
Yeah, because it was the Moxley episode, I believe, that got that show kind of taken off the network.
Yeah, there was some heat being thrown
from Stone Cold, but they've made up now, which is good to hear. But no, I bring this up because so when Vince was actually a guest on the Stone Cold. I'll have to go back and listen to that because I forget it now. I watched it years ago when it came out. This probably would have been like 2015 or 2016, I would say. But I think Stone Cold asked Vince why he doesn't see Cesaro or Claudio as a top guy, and I think he said something about the voice or so. I don't know if it's just Swiss or I don't know. Just a lot of like just weird.
Vince also had a burrito voice.
Yeah, just
know what a burrito was. So that man, as many smart things as he's done
over the years,
he's an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know. He was just he could have just said like I just don't want to push him in that light, and it would have came off way better than just. Yeah, I think it's just because he sweats.
I need to hide it. Just to cover everything up, just like his teammates to certain ladies.
Yes, but Moxley was basically. He took a shot at Vince for not believing Claudio was a top guy, saying, I don't know who would think that. Some crazy old man told him some shit. Nobody cares about that guy anyways. So that was a funny listen. He was just kind of going off on WWE in that promo.
But, he's fully gone anyway. He's had to burn the bridge. You don't want to go back. Fuck it.
Yeah.
My radar's going crazy. Boop, 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 boop.
It's a good year for the Shield guys, I think. I mean, but even Seth, he hasn't been a champ, but like just the stuff he's been in, he's been in a
Raw, in the whole drippy Seth. No, good.
Yeah, I think I don't know which member. Now this is actually an interesting, question for the viewers. When this gets uploaded to YouTube, comment who you think is the best. Who has been the best Shield member of this year? Has it been Moxley? Has it been Reigns? Has it been Seth? Probably a lot of people would say Reigns, I would think.
Well, let's make it a discussion down below.
Yes. Yeah, we want your guys' feedback on this. We want your thoughts. Don't be shy to share an opinion within reason,
Telling us off or death threats or anything like that.
Yeah.
No more.
Yeah, those aren't welcome, but we'll hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully you guys keep it civil.
Yeah, great. Just love it.
Finishing off with the Dynamite aftermath. AEW's YouTube channel posted a video. Omega cut a promo on Ospreay and Aussie Open. Omega said that he wanted to do something special. He wanted to walk down to the ring and he offered the mic to Ospreay. Omega wanted to give Will the responsibility of thanking the AEW audience for their time. Slides the mic over to Will. Omega made a jab saying, hopefully you can handle this better than you have filling my shoes in New Japan. So there's the first jab of the promo. Ospreay said in short time he's been in New Japan. He's done everything that Omega's done and even more. Well, mocked Omega's injuries and then put himself over by saying he had another 5 stars in the G1 this year. Obviously, I didn't watch the G1, but he made it to the finals against Okada and lost. But that probably did get ranked 5 stars.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. Well, especially Meltzer always creaming his pants or anything.
Yeah.
In Japan.
Omega took that the mic. Omega, I wrote that twice in the script for some reason. I don't know. Must have been a late night. Kenny said Will has not capitalized on the opportunity Omega gave him, and the fans know nothing about Will's matches before Omega had to introduce them. The same way Omega welcomed Will to the heavyweight scene in New Japan. Omega wondered why Will never thanked him. Omega said Will thinks he's a tough guy just because he wrestled a couple matches on a couple of indie shows against some lower end New Japan guys. Omega rubbed in the fact that Ospreay has never beat Okada on the big stage, and that the fans say Omega's matches are the best of all time, not Ospreay's. Omega kept taunting Ospreay, saying he could. 1 second here. There we go. A little bit of a Microsoft Word issue here. So he said he could never fill Will's shoes, or Will could never fill Omega's shoes. Omega proclaimed him and the Bucks will win the semi-final match and take it all the way to the finals. He said goodbye and good night to Ospreay and Aussie Open. The match is set for next week on Dynamite. Looking forward to that one a lot. That will probably get 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars, 5 stars.
But we don't really follow Meltzer's ratings around here.
Yeah, I'm not a Meltzer. I don't need to. I can form my own. I'm good.
Form our own opinions, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I like it. I like that we're finally gonna get Ospreay and Omega in a one-on-one. Well, kinda. They're gonna be interacting with each other
for one-on-one for a second.
Yeah, but Let us know what you guys thought of just AEW Dynamite in general. And if you're excited, or are you even going to tune in next week? Are you excited? Are you going to tune in? Are you done with All Elite Wrestling? Let us know. All right, moving on here. Let's get to the second topic here. So here are all the matches that are so far announced for AEW All Out 2022 in Chicago. The finalists will battle to become the AEW World Trios Champions, the first ever. Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. Looking forward to that. Tony Storm taking on Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter and Karushita. This is a fatal four-way, of course, for the interim AEW World Women's World Championship. Casino ladder match. So no one has been announced for the match yet. I would assume we'll see guys like Orange Cassidy in that, because Orange Cassidy doesn't have a match on the show yet, so we could probably see him.
Yeah, I would say easily you're gonna see Orange Cassidy and Dante Martin probably.
Yeah, and hell, I mean Garcia doesn't have a match either, so we might see like him and Yuta. I think that'd be cool too.
There's 4 of the participants. You just wait.
That's right. Yeah, it'll all be announced. I don't know if there'll be a build to it or they'll just kind of announce the participants, but we will see. Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. Lionheart Chris Jericho, that is. Swerve in Our Glory will take on the Acclaimed for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs. And finally, Jade Cargill will defend her AEW TBS Women's Championship against Athena. So honestly, I mean, the card's looking great.
Yeah, I can't complain. It's gonna just need a couple more matches to fill it out with the world title and trying to think of what else is
TNT won't be on the show, that's for sure.
Yeah, TNT is gonna be in the.
We'll probably get an All-Atlantic championship match between Pac and Kip Sabian on the buy-in, I would say.
That would be freaky, yeah.
Maybe a hook match, too.
Yeah, title.
For the FTW. So let's talk about one match that was supposed to be on the AEW All Out show. Now it is up in the air. Eddie Kingston suspended for 2 weeks by AEW after backstage altercation with Sammy Guevara. This is going to be a long one, so bear with us here. Alright, let's get started. Kingston was supposed to face Sammy Guevara All Out, however the feud quietly disappeared off AEW television. This match was a continuation of Kingston's feud with Chris Jericho and the Jericho Appreciation Society. According to Fightful Select, the altercation between the two was the result of Sammy Guevara's comment on Kingston's physique. Things got physical, and reportedly Kingston took a swing at Sammy backstage. Sammy called Kingston a fat piece of shit, in quote, on AEW TV. However, the promo never made air. A clip from the promo still exists on YouTube. So, PW Insider managed to get a comment from Eddie Kingston. Keddy said, and I quote, "You know the truth, I wouldn't lie. I was wrong for being unprofessional. That is the blind fact. He did what he did, and the public can judge that. But I know for a fact I was wrong," end quote. TJR Wrestling posted an article on Sammy Guevara giving a statement of his own to Fightful Select, and I quote, "As a professional, you communicate things that you don't want to be said, like other people I've been in the programs with and have worked with, guys like Matt Hardy, Chris Jericho, and others, and I did communicate of what I didn't want to be said in this angle, and Eddie didn't. But Eddie did not do the same, and Eddie did not mention to me or the coaches or TK or anyone in AEW what he didn't want said." The quote continues here. "So after Ties in my match with Sky Blue and Dante Martin, I cut a promo on Eddie insulting Eddie and the fans as a heel, which I know the thing everyone loves to do is hate me and Ty, so I'm the perfect person to play this asshole character for Eddie to ultimately beat at All Out. I see what people say online about Eddie and his appearance, which anyone who legitimately shames Eddie for how he looks can go to hell. It's the same people who shame me for being too small. So, Sammy Guevara, the character, I could be the physical person playing that person that Eddie can shut up at All Out, but Eddie did not do the professional thing and communicate to me, which if he did, I would have never said it, because that is the last thing I want to do is hurt someone for real. He shed some light, Sammy did, on what happened backstage, kind of the full picture, in his words, and I quote, "So after the promo, I get to the back, and Eddie is flipping out, yelling, 'You can't call me fat,' over and over as I'm trying to walk downstairs in Gorilla, making a big scene. People get in between us. Eddie tries to pie face me, and he more like touches my face. It was weird. Everyone backs everyone up." Quote continues, "It was unfortunate because the promo was on a taped show and easily could have been edited, which they ended up doing anyways. I know this isn't Eddie's first time being aggressive and getting out of control backstage. I know he had to do some kind of anger management after this whole thing. The whole thing was very unnecessary, but it is what it is. Live and learn, I guess. On to the next we go." End quote. Eddie Kingston posted the following to his Twitter account yesterday, and I quote, "Fuck it, okay. Then after this, I'm chilling. But leave Sammy alone. In the court of law, he is the victim. Let it go and leave the kid alone. For real, done with this." End quote. Sammy Guevara posted the following to his Twitter account, responding to an account heckling Kingston's weight. And I quote, "This is not cool. Leave Eddie alone. The whole thing is over. Let's all just move on." End quote. Eddie has remained off AEW TV at the time of this recording. Sammy wrestled on Rampage yesterday, which we talked about. So, what are your thoughts on this? Because, I mean, it doesn't look good on Kingston's part.
I think it's a whole lot of nothing now. I think that stuff happens within companies, especially with the no communication.
Yeah.
That we've all known to be present. It's just Eddie's an explosive person. You can just tell by the way he acts and the way that he carries himself.
Yeah.
And obviously Sammy didn't tell him what he was going to say. And obviously Sammy didn't know that was what's going to happen. And I feel like just from them both quoting on it, usually if it's something too sticky, they both won't say anything. But they both quoted on it. They both said that they're moving forward and then stuck up with each other with tweets. I think this is completely in the past. And if they wanted the match to still happen, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, so what we was alluding to earlier when we was talking about Rampage, so the pieces are there for that Sammy Kingston feud because, I mean, we just saw Ruby Soho and Ortiz, who's buddies with Eddie on screen and probably backstage too, losing to Guevara and Mello. So, yeah, I don't know. The pieces are still, the remnants is there. Whether or not it will continue, who knows? Yeah, I mean, hey, Eddie admitted to what happened. He said it was wrong. And I think this is an interesting story because I think it's shedding more light on the fact that maybe things shouldn't be as loose regarding promo material as it is in AEW, which we all know it is. Everyone says that. It's all kind of looser than WWE. Do you think they should maybe dabble back on some of the talent freedom with promos? What do you think about this, Kenny?
I think they should at least both know what each other are saying before it's on TV, at minimum. And I think that's all that. If they can both do that, then there doesn't need to be more rules.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, wrestling's a very ego-based industry, like a lot of industries out there. So, you know, Kingston, he saw this, fat shaming as a burial of him. So for, it was probably easy to, tick off in his brain to, go after Guevara. But yeah, just, better communication. Sammy said he didn't communicate. I don't know. We wasn't backstage when, things are happening. So if he didn't. But you got to really use your best judgment at the end of the day. We can kind of see what Sammy was, going for with, the heel character. It is a great heel line for him to say and to get the crowd upset. But yeah, I mean, you can't disparage your coworkers, even if it wasn't intentional. And I don't think Sammy's a piece of shit guy or something. He would just go off and try to bury Kingston. I think it was just a big misunderstanding, and hopefully those two can work together again, because we're all this heat talk with AEW. It's just nuts.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, really, because it seemed like such a tight-knit commitment, especially after the Brody Lee passing. Like Kingston gave this speech backstage, if you watched that BTE episode, and, everyone seemed to be coming together now as the 2022, well, now that the years have gone on, I guess, this will be the second year since Brody Lee's passed away in December. It's crazy, man. But, yeah, I mean, hopefully the rifts that are in the company can, start to, dissipate, and people can get back together and work on working terms. Speaking of more heat, here's some more news. Backstage heat between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. WrestleTalk posted an article about the situation covering the reports made by Voices of Wrestling and Fightful Select. After Thunder Rosa announced her injury on Dynamite this week, Voices of Wrestling made a report that Rosa and Britt Baker cannot stand each other backstage. Fightful Select confirmed the Voices of Wrestling report, stating that Rosa and Britt have had heat for well over a year now. However, the two have attempted to remain professional and work with each other. The report also gave wind that Jamie Hayter has now developed heat with Thunder Rosa after Rosa accidentally broke Hayter's nose during their match at AEW Battle of the Belts 3, which wasn't too long ago. The heat seems to stem from Rosa working rather stiff in the ring. It's interesting to think about too with that, because there was making this whole sandbagging thing an angle on TV. Baker, when his fire is to hand Tony Schiavone a sandbag and say, yeah, you try carrying her or whatever, during the Thunder Rosa feud she had going on. So, yeah, that was just more art, imitating life on TV. And I'm sure the two agreed to it, because, I don't think Britt's going to come around with a sandbag and not tell anybody. So yeah, that part was definitely workshopped. But yeah, I mean, heat with Thunder Rosa. What do you think about this development?
I just think it's just too many big personalities, and Thunder Rosa is I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of some of those moves. I understand where both sides are kind of coming from, but hopefully their heads can cool down.
Yeah, because we've heard stories like that over the years. I'm pretty sure when Vader went to WWF, not many of the top guys really wanted to work with him, because he had a history of working stiff. And yeah, I think there was even a thing with Rick Rude and Hulk Hogan. I don't think Hogan wanted to work Rude, because Rude laid his stuff in quite well. So, and if you guys don't know what this whole sandbagging term means, basically, dead weighting your opponent, and with stiff, it means just laying shots in really hard. So, a worked punch, you're not supposed to actually hurt the opponent, but if you lay it in too well, it ends up being a real punch. So,
you might do it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just to clear up any confusion there if you fellas didn't know the terms. But, yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Rose's injury. I would have liked to see the culmination of the Thunderstorm angle, but this Fatal 4-Way is going to be exciting. And I think what it really comes to is, you're going to have, when you're incorporating a lot of indie into your promotion, you are going to have those workers who are stiff. There's always, I think any wrestler would tell you, there's always room to, grow and, elevate your game. And I'm not a wrestler, so I can't speak for anyone, but, there's just, it's anything in life too. There's always room to improve, and, there's room to improve on this YouTube channel. There's
something to work on.
For sure. So hopefully hopefully cooler heads can prevail. And, anytime when Baker talks about Rosa on TV, it's going to be interesting to see what she says, because now with AEW, it's such in a work shoot mode right now that we don't know what's really, where's this coming from? Is this real? Like,
Yeah, how much leeway were they really give?
Yeah, I think I like Rosa. I think Baker's good. I like Hayter a lot. I think they're all great wrestlers, and it's for the amount of times that Baker and Rosa has worked together. It's crazy to think that this is all going on, especially for over a year now.
Yeah, considering they've worked like a year's worth of matches.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, but hey, who knows? We'll see what happens. We're still going for Tony Storm to win, but we'll see. Maybe something will develop on TV, change our minds next week. So our second to last topic here: new AEW TV show potentially coming soon. Yesterday afternoon, Cultaholic posted an article regarding AEW's schedule for tapings in October. It stated the following, and I quote, AEW schedule shows that the company will have 2 TV tapings per week for the whole of October, with Dynamite and Rampage being taped separately for the month, end quote. Cultaholic then referred to Dave Meltzer's post on the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Dave speculates that the schedule could pave the way for a new AEW show to be taped with Dynamite or Rampage. Dave stated the following, and I quote, given they are booking buildings in October, one would think an announcement would be made very soon, but they are clearly in the plans to increase the production amount of in-ring product if they are taping 2 nights a week regularly. Whether that means more streaming or more television, that will remain to be seen, end quote. Cultaholic went on to say, Tony Khan has said that he wants to get aggressive with these October Rampages, as the fan perception being that Rampage in its current form is often skippable. It remains to be seen if this will lead to significant changes to how the show is put together, end quote. At the end of the article, Cultaholic mentioned Meltzer's speculation that the show could be the long-rumored All Elite Women show. If this is indeed a wrestling show and not a reality show, it could also possibly be a Ring of Honor television show. So a lot of, rumors in the air. I don't know if I'd rather see Rampage on a better time slot and better produced than a new TV show.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. If they're adding in a new show, I'm honestly hoping it's ROH. That way you don't have to single it out as just a women's show. There's a women's champion on there. Like, there'll be enough. It has enough things to be its own thing. It's already ready. All you need to do is stamp it on a show, because they have the people, the champions, the ring set up, the pedigree of, they're ready to go.
Yeah, they got the library for ROH. They got, we just had a Death Before Dishonor show. They got the new logo. So, it's basically probably production-wise, they got the team right there, so it's probably ready to roll. It's just a matter of, if this ends up being a new TV show, if it's true, if these reports end up being true, October's going to be very interesting to look at. That's got to be decent news for AEW regarding their TV, situation with Warner Media. If they're getting another show, that
they must be raking in the dough.
Yeah, I know the ratings probably don't show a whole lot of growth, and they haven't. But if this new show gets greenlit, who knows? Maybe it could be on another network. I can't see that, but yeah, we're gonna definitely keep our eyes peeled for that. If there's any updates. So thank you to the guys over at Cultaholic for that report. Yeah, just exciting stuff in AEW right now.
Yeah, definitely a whole bunch of stuff happening.
And before we move on, just to kind of wrap this part up. If it's an all elite women's show, I don't see that necessarily doing so well, just because the division has a few key players, but they'd have to introduce tag titles, they'd have to introduce more divisions, and Would they keep them exclusive on that? Would they shine on Dynamite? I think that's a big risk if you're going to do an all women's show.
I agree with the amount of established women that they're rocking with. It's just not attainable.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to lean more towards it possibly being an ROH taping, but yeah.
That's my hopes.
And listen, if they're going to tape it, I mean, fans are going to be in the audience, so we will, pictures will probably leak of what the ring skirt will look like, if there's going to be any new kind of logos on it. So, and the month of October, I know it's a little ways away, but keep your eyes peeled on Twitter. So, our final topic, this is going to be lighter news. Now we're past all the heat, all the drama. We're getting into something that me and Kenny and Brooke and Zach are looking forward to a lot. AEW Fight Forever release date window revealed, and we're going to go over our thoughts on the gameplay. The release window for the game was finally revealed on the August 23rd edition of AEW Dark. Excalibur on commentary confirmed that the game will be releasing this fall, so there's no official actual date, but it's going to be sometime, probably if I had to speculate, maybe near Full Gear.
Yeah, I could see it being around then in the winter time.
Yeah, kind of near Christmas, but kind of, building buzz around Full Gear. I think that would be cool. So the AEW Games YouTube channel hosted a live stream from Gamescom I believe it's in Germany, where gameplay and a few other things were confirmed. Gameplay. The gameplay wasn't confirmed, but it's some of the new features were confirmed. Where the game was obviously going to have gameplay. Oh my god, it's very late for me.
It's like 12:30 here.
That's right. Sorry guys. Starting with gameplay. This game engine is heavily inspired by the classic N64 wrestling game WWF No Mercy, developed by Aki or AKI, however you want to pronounce it.
We'll go with Aki. It sounds funny.
That's right. I like Aki better. So, do you have any experience with that game? Because I haven't ever played a lick of it, but I hear it's one of the best of all time.
That's before my time, my brother. I'm a 98 baby. I have no chance.
But so we'll go over some of the controls. Now, this may get a little confusing. So we are going to be listing off the controls for the Xbox controller if you're playing with, PS4, PS5. Just kind of convert that as you will. So for controls, players can hit X to punch and Y to kick. When you see an opening, press A to grapple. After grabbing your opponent, tilt the left stick and press X, Y, or A to use various moves. On the pause, so during the live stream, they put on the pause menu, there was a moves list tab, and they showed even more controls. So to enter and exit the ring, LT. To Irish whip, RT. Grapple guard / pin grounded opponent is LB. Strike guard / pull up grounded opponent is RB. Moving around, like moving your character around, would be the left stick. Running is with the B button, and taunting is with the right stick. So just basing it off, those basic controls. What do you think of that? I don't mind that. I think that's a cool control scheme.
It's a game that's easy to jump into. I feel like I'm likely able to win a match within 5 minutes. Like simplicity is a good thing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm not ashamed to say that I'm all right with it. I hope they keep maybe some sort of a universe mode or have some other real life-ish things that are not just all along with the arcade feel. Yeah, just like an exhibition in story mode. You're looking for more than just that. Some more meat. Fancy. You're gonna need to play something like that. Yeah.
Some more beef to the game.
I need my beef, and I need it now.
But the meat and potatoes of the game will probably be the story mode, which I'm looking forward to. I think an AEW story mode, that would be interesting.
Yeah, interesting. I'm not even sure what to expect.
Probably a lot of crazy stuff. But so there's a little more that got. So I missed a lot of the live stream. I think some other stuff was going on. but I watched the recent Smack Talks video, and he shed some light. He really pinpointed it down to like what we learned from the live stream. So this is credits to him. I just took a few little cliff notes here. Okay, so each player, so regarding the momentum bar, each player will start off with a green momentum bar, changing color as you hit more moves and do taunts. I'm assuming taunts will play into that. The bar progressed from green to yellow to orange, which then goes to a signature. To hit a finisher while in the signature state, the player must do a taunt to enter the finisher state. Players will need to hit their finisher as fast as they can, as this state only lasts a short amount of time. Players will be able to pit superstars against themselves, so if you wanted CM Punk versus CM Punk, that's an option, which surprisingly you can't do that in the 2K series games.
Yeah, I never see no need for that, really, but...
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I think even, so, I guess for like online too, I don't...
Yeah, I suppose.
But I think online you can use the same people. Like if you're using the boogeyman,
Yeah.
I think your friends can too. I think it's just
Whoever you take is whoever you chose.
yeah. But here's the real interesting thing is, well, we knew about this for a while now, but they're gonna have intergender matches, and I don't think the WWE gaming series has had intergender matches since SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, I want to say.
It's been a very long time.
If Zach listens to this, he'll be able to...
There'll be comments in there. I'll be like,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
He is the historian when it comes to wrestling games. Major props to Broken Zach. But, yeah, we're also going to get... Here's the good news, especially for us. CPU versus CPU matches will be available, so we'll be able to pit the AI against each other to simulate it. So that's good news, because I remember the Impact game, or the TNA game that came out in like 2008 or 7. You couldn't do that. You had to play it. So
that's weird.
Yeah, like it's you gotta play the game. Like, what kind of shit is that? I don't want to play it. I want to walk.
I'm this game and now we're gonna play it.
No, but
the world come to.
Yeah, what the hell's the world come to nowadays? But now, yeah. So now there's a few good things. There's a few bad things. We're gonna go over everything. So more news. AEW Fight Forever will not have full-length entrances. Now, I was talking to Zach about this last night. We're both pissed off about that. That sucks.
Yeah, that's absolute horse shit. I don't know what's up with that. What they have they must have the copyright entrances.
I think maybe it was more. I think it was more or less a thing of just getting right into the action. They want to make it like as arcadey. So like you see a few taunts that they do. Like Kenny Omega, he does the gun taunt, and then and then Cole, when he was doing his entrance, he was already on the apron doing the boom. So we'll see their classic taunts in their entrances, and then it will cut to the match. But yeah, that part sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe they'll work on that if they get another game.
Yeah, they got to start somewhere. They're gonna make one to critique it.
Yeah. So if you need more of a picture in your head of it's so they're just short snippets, kind of like if you guys ever played the TNA Impact game we just mentioned, or the WWE All Stars game, or even 2K Battlegrounds, which I don't know why you play that game, but they were just kind of, we saw a few little motions from the wrestlers and then into the ring. So I think how Smack Talks today, it was more or less of a way just to keep that arcade pace going, and like see, I would have been okay if it was even like Here Comes the Pain. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, where like we would see them kind of teleport. Like they'd have one motion on the entrance ramp, and then they'd be on the apron doing a motion, and then in the ring.
Yeah, I've seen clips of people gaming and playing that like series, and I've seen entrances like that. That wouldn't be too bad. Yeah,
if we could compromise anything, but I don't know. It's just we're big entrances guys over here, so. Yes, but so another interesting note. Commentary will only have a few lines of dialogue during the match for like the big moves. And the reason for this was because the developers found the lack of lines in the game was going to be repetitive. So we're not going to hear constant commentary like the WWE 2K series. So what do you think about that?
It's not so bad if it was all going to be the same thing. It probably is going to save them the complaints.
Yeah.
Because if it was just another maneuver.
I
My!
Yeah, I think some people. What am I doing? Yeah, what do they got Vince in the game? It's like a secret guest commentator. That'd be crazy.
My boy Shay.
Yeah, man. Some people will look at that as all right because I mean, a lot of the old school games too. They didn't really have. They just had the game soundtrack. So I don't know if like music's gonna play behind the matches. I don't think it did during the match between Omega and Cole.
Meet contact or something.
Maybe. So Evil Uno, he stated that wrestlers will have audio clips during their taunts. So if Cole's doing the Adam Cole baby, he's gonna say it, and I think the crowd will react accordingly.
Yeah,
so that's good.
It'll be pretty good. Yeah, they need to do that pretty much.
Yeah. So regarding match types, they confirmed in the live stream that we'll get the Casino Battle Royal and the Exploding Death Match. But there hasn't been any word about cage matches, and Smack Talk seemed to allude that there wasn't going to be any in the game. So that's interesting. No cage match. Because AEW has done cage matches, so.
Yeah, they've done quite a few, actually, in their time.
I don't know if there was just, like, mechanics that they want to introduce, but they don't think. Because, I don't know. Maybe, if this is going to be more or less like a long-running game and they're going to keep adding stuff to it, maybe that could be added in the future in an update or something.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that's pure speculation on our end. But, yeah, that's odd to me. Very odd.
Yeah, agreed.
Another detractor is we're making this game sound terrible. Tony Khan's going to be pissed at us.
Well, you can
Yeah. So what's going to be missing from this game is a community creations feature. So that's obviously a staple of the WWE 2K games, the community creations and the amazing talent over on that end. If you're wrestling game fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's creators on Twitter. They got, just some of the stuff they put out, like what's the status and Iconic 2K, and there's a bunch more. I think Dre41 Gaming, if I could just shout out a few. Yeah, they post like attires, different kind of, updated people. Basically, they keep the game alive. So, this game not having that, this means that we're not going to be able to share our custom superstars to other people, which sucks.
Yeah, big time. I'm a huge fan of that feature. I use that feature quite a lot, so sad.
Yeah, I think, there's going to be people, probably Smack Talks, making forum pages of, like, call formulas. Do you remember those back in the day?
I do not, no.
For, like, the the earlier SmackDown versus Raw game, since there wasn't no community creations, you had to kind of follow a set list of, like, here's all the creator options I did in Create a Wrestler. Just copy that, and there you go. You got an RVD, or you got whoever.
Yeah, you can make it do the best of the bits abilities.
Yeah, so there's going to be forums out there and probably, like, posts on Twitter from some of the creators that will probably make, that. But, I mean, I think they even said, I don't know who it was, maybe it was Omega. I think they said that the creation aspect of it wasn't going to be, like, the huge thing they were focused on.
Okay.
I think they were mainly focused on gameplay, but what they should focus on, if they're going to focus on the gameplay, definitely focus on match types too, because the game can play well, but if there's no
nothing to do in it.
Yeah, no sizzle there. I mean, it's going to be hard to kind of get into after a while. But yeah, I don't know. It's very odd choice, but hey, I mean that can always be worked around if they manage to get another game out there or something.
Yeah, I figure they'll be probably working on the next one as soon as this one even comes out.
That's true. That's what developers like to do. So, But also, I don't know if this is going to be shocking news, but custom music will not be an option for AEW Fight Forever. It hasn't been since, geez, I don't even know. When's the last? I think WWE 13 was the last game you could import custom music in. Unless you mod the game somehow on PC.
Some people will do.
Yeah, there's no. I'm very surprised though. There's no like Spotify integration or nothing that they could do.
I know. Like you would think with as much technology as we got going on in this world, you can't put that together. Are you serious?
Yeah, I guess you'd have to then form some kind of partnership with Spotify, which you want to try to cut out as many middlemen as possible, I suppose.
Yeah, to maintain profit.
But I mean, I think how it worked on the 360 was, and if anyone has done this, like imported custom music, if anyone's a big wrestling game fan, let me know if I'm mistaken here. But see, what you could do on the 360, if you had like a USB hard drive or USB like stick or something, you just put your song on there, plug it into the back of the Xbox, and then you can choose it in the game. And there you go, custom music. You can have Goldberg's theme and Smackers Raw 2007 or something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like even that, like I guess Colt Cabana said it. I feel like that'd be some kind of legal issue. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, if it's from your Xbox or PlayStation or something, and you're just choosing the music that way, I don't know.
Yeah, you'd think you'd be not crossing any lines,
But that also was before the days of Spotify and that kind of stuff. So
way before.
Yeah, but that's all the news we got for that. If you guys are looking forward to the AEW Fight Forever game, let us know. We're going to be getting it anyways because we're a bunch of marks, but we're going to be playing it.
It's going to be in our possession.
That's right, and hopefully make some videos on it, and hopefully you guys can enjoy. But yeah, just crazy stuff going on in AEW. We're going to try to keep up with it the best we can. Just crazy week. It's going to be a crazy start to September. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Keep your ears and eyes open on the wrestling scene.
That's right. Thank you guys a lot for, listening and giving us time out of your day to just listen to us ramble about wrestling.
As silly as it sounds.
Yeah. I really want AEW to get better, but when you look at some of the booking decisions, you can see why people may be turned off to the product.
Oh, definitely. There's so many lowlights that it's kind of hard to see some highlights. Which WWE's been like that before and survived it. They just got to weather this storm.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and maybe we will see an introduction of like a few other writers than Tony Khan or a few other, some people to help book. I'm sure there are people that help him book, but I don't know. It's very loose, so I don't think there's no such thing as writers. So who knows?
Not really at this point.
But let us know in the comments what you think of just all this AEW news. We will try to get a review out there for Raw and SmackDown and maybe some other WWE news that has come to the air. But for now, I've been the Booker Man. Dude that know Jutnick. You had something to say, Kenny?
I had something to say. I had to tell you guys that I am the Bearded Sparrow, Kenny Arrow, and I have a 4.0 GPA. Thank you.
Oh, man, that's perfect. That's a perfect bow to the video. Thank you, guys, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace out.